me. Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunsa. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah, talking reparations. America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all in Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on their necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regret, we only facing the threat.
This is the sound of Eric Malcolm.
It's a cut on the gas, other one on their necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking straight, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans, and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? All right. Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in once again to the original Queen MAGA show. I'm your host, Queen MAGA, and this is your morning wake-up call. Okay? Y'all caught me off guard. I was sending a text. Okay, so anywho, let's get into it. Let's get into it. All right, DJ Big Six Nefarious Self is in here. Please don't get on my nerves today. All right, Buckhurst, DC, Vincent Air from the UK says, hashtag buy all wigs, dandruff, and split ends. For anybody new to the channel, that's an inside joke. Okay, hello, Lisa. All right, blessings to you too, beloved. All right, so let's get into it. We the people. Millicent, just anticipate. Albie, chill. All right, Claudette, Trisha, goodness rated Bo. Hey, beloved. All right, so let's get into it. Y'all know I love me some nefarious royals. Okay, J Love the Queen is here. Nessa G, songwriter Sunny, Emperor Rex, Nessa G. All right, let's get this party started. First off, let's have a brief word from my sponsor, and shout out to all of my loyal royals, everyone new to the chat, and everyone listening, and also a special shout out to my moderators, because y'all know they be putting in work.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Okay, so don't forget 12 Tribes hair oil. You can purchase it at, if you want to purchase 12 Tribes hair oil, you can purchase it at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts. You can also find it at Walmart.com. And please don't forget that she sells beard oil. Okay, so with that all being said, let's get into it. Everybody hit that like button. Don't forget to double check and make sure you're still subscribed to the channel, especially if you have not been receiving your notifications. All right, so first things first, let's talk about ICE. Okay, ICE is up to their shenanigans again. First of all, there was a chase yesterday where a teacher lost her life, Miss Linda Davis. We're going to get into that. But also, one of the people who does the background checks for ICE got caught up in a sting with a prostitution ring. Okay, so I'm not trying to rhyme here, but that's what it is. So let's go to that report first, because they gave a whole press conference. All right, here we go.
That we've had here. He is a backgrounder for ICE, Homeland Security, and federal agencies. So when you're getting your security clearance, this is one of the guys that does your backgrounds, which is kind of scary. So we locked him up. And I think if you're going to be, these people get access, they get a high security clearance, right? Because again, for all the ICE agents, Homeland Security agents, and people getting security clearance, this is one of the people that does the backgrounds. And you come here trying to purchase sex. We locked him up. I don't think he's going to be passing a background check no time soon. This is the most disturbing arrest that we've had here. He is a backgrounder for ICE, Homeland.
Now you all see this. Okay, I'm sorry. This just goes for further proof. How do they have someone like him doing background checks, no less? Okay? I want y'all to pay attention. And that's not even the only thing. Let's not forget all of those ICE agents who turned out to have been accused of not S trafficking, but sexual abuse and different sexual deviant charges. Okay, convicted, arrested, things like that. So I'm sorry. Are they doing thorough background checks on these people? I don't think so, because we remember what that journalist said when she went to apply, just so she could find out what the criteria was for them to hire people. Remember? Okay, so anyway, all interesting. Now let's talk about this woman who lost her life yesterday. Sadly, when these idiots known as ICE were chasing this man. And I'm sorry, they're not the police, and they really need to stop acting like it, because last I checked, they're not even supposed to be doing all these things that they're doing. Okay? And definitely not engaged in high-speed chases. Okay, make it all make sense. Now, here is the picture. Here is a picture of the woman who lost her life. This lady is a teacher, or she was a teacher, Linda Davis. She was a teacher, and the school that she taught at was like a mile down the street from where the incident actually occurred. And also, it was the students weren't there because of President's Day, but it was still a work day for her. And sadly, she lost her life after she left school. She probably was heading home. Okay, so I'm going to go to this video report. I'm going to share my screen. Savannah educator killed in crash after driver flees. Okay, let's get into it. All right, I'm going to share my screen.
Educator.
That's right. And has K through 8 confirming that Dr. Linda Davis was killed in a car wreck just blocks from the school at Whitfield Avenue. The cause, a man without legal status fleeing a traffic stop with immigration's enforcement. WJCL 22 News' Lydia Blackstone is live now. And Lydia, tell us more about how this crash happened.
Good evening, Greg and Shannon. The Department of Homeland Services says that a man was fleeing ICE officials when he ran a red light and took an illegal U-turn right here. This is the exit you would take when going onto the Truman Parkway. It was then that he hit and killed a Chatham County educator. Broken glass and bent car frames being taken off the roadways in Chatham County after an early morning crash. The deceased, a beloved special education teacher, Dr. Linda Davis, who worked less than a mile away at Hess K through 8. While students were out for President's Day, Monday was a work day for teachers like Dr. Davis. The school responding, releasing a statement saying, "We should all expect and try to understand that there will be a variety of emotions and responses as to what has occurred. The most important thing we can do is to be supportive and encourage an open expression of feelings." As for what led up to it, police say ICE officers initially attempted a traffic stop of 38-year-old Oscar Vasquez Lopez. Department of Homeland Security says he was initially stopped, then sped away, running a red light and making an illegal U-turn, which caused the deadly collision. DHS releasing this photo, saying he was in the country illegally from Guatemala. Vasquez Lopez has been charged with reckless driving, driving without a valid license, vehicular homicide, and other offenses. ICE policy says in regards to a situation like this, ICE officials use reasonable and necessary force when someone resists arrest. ICE officers and agents prioritize safety, including the safety of the people that they arrest, and are highly trained in de-escalation. Vasquez Lopez is currently in custody in the hospital. Authorities say he did not suffer serious injuries in the crash. And as for the school where Dr. Davis worked right down the street from here, it was closed today because of President's Day. It will reopen to students tomorrow, where they say on hand counselors will be for both staff and students to talk about this tragic event. Shannon and Greg, back to you.
So very sad, Lydia. All right, thanks so much for that report.
The Department of Homeland Security releasing new information about the suspect involved in today's pursuit. For example, this is the picture here released by the Department of Homeland Security. DHS says that Oscar Vasquez Lopez is from Guatemala. He had been issued a final order of removal by a federal judge. This was back in 2024. They say he entered the U.S. illegally at an unknown date and location. Vasquez is now facing charges, as Lydia just told you, that include vehicular homicide. Authorities say that he drove away from ICE officers. Homeland Security Assistant Secretary says in a quote, in a statement that we're quoting there, these dangerous tactics are putting people's lives at risk. Fleeing from and resisting federal law enforcement is not only a crime, but extraordinarily dangerous and puts oneself, our officers, and innocent civilians at risk. DHS added that it wants to bring an end to the calls for violence and resistance against ICE law enforcement. Shannon?
Representative Buddy Carter releasing a statement in response to the crash, saying, quote, the left has a Georgian's blood on its hands once again. A beloved local teacher lost her life because an illegal immigrant facing deportation refused to cooperate with ICE. We must throw the book at this individual. Alderwoman Alicia Blakely also responding on social media, saying, quote, if the chase was not ensued, this would not have happened. Tears for the family. Now, this is an ongoing story. We will keep you updated both on air and online at WJCL.com.
This is all so sad, very sad circumstances. Now, some of these MAGA people specifically are acting as though this isn't ICE's fault, but of course it's their fault. Okay, they do have blood on their hands, just like someone said, because had they not been chasing that man, that wouldn't have happened. Okay, I'm sorry. What do you all think? Let me know what you all think about that, because why are they chasing people any darn way? I mean, is it that serious? I don't think it is. Okay, but there's a whole bunch of nefarious things that ICE is doing, in fact. And we're going to get into some of it. And here's something I think you'll find interesting. So the South Africans who came here lying about they were being killed over in South Africa, or Trump was lying about it. Well, guess what? Now they want to go home. Now they want to go back home. Say they're not doing well over here in the United States. Yeah, we're going to get into it. I find it all interesting. Make them stay. They begged to come here. Okay, so let them just go ahead and stay. Did they think it was going to all be peaches and cream? That they were going to get special preferential treatment? Did they think Trump was going to let them come and live at the White House? Huh? Did they think they were going to come live here for free and wouldn't have to work? Wonder how that went. Or did they think all the black folk would be segregated from them like they had them in Africa? Because let's not forget, they were in Africa, in South Africa, mind you, and had a place over there where they wouldn't even let the black people, the Africans, come. In their own homeland, now, mind you, wouldn't even let the Africans come unless they were working for them. Y'all hear that? Y'all know I reported it to you. This is all a hot mess. But anywho, let's talk about ICE, because here's the thing I need you all to pay attention to. Okay, no joking about this. Now, I have been telling you all about some things that I dreamt. Well, actually, I didn't tell you much because I can't really say a lot of it. But here's the thing. Y'all know what I was telling you about these, How do I want to put this? Well, anyway, I'll tell you this. We already know, because I told you yesterday, that there's a certain group of people who allegedly have installed things on people's phones because they have some sort of deal with Apple or something like that. I'm going to have to get rid of these darn Apple phones. And then also, supposedly on a portion of TikTok, censoring people. Y'all heard the soldier say that he's under investigation because he said some anti stuff about them, or not even said anything about them, but basically said something on the behalf of the people that have a problem with these people. Y'all know who I'm talking about. But here's the thing I find interesting. I keep telling y'all, if nobody does or says anything about the Epstein files and anything that's going on, it's going to be like we're back in slavery. Matter of fact, we're going to be back in slavery. They have concentration camps. Now, right now, they're putting the people that ICE is capturing, they're putting these people in concentration camps. Now, you can think they're detention centers if you want, but these are the equivalents of concentration camps. And guess what? I told you all this last week or so, and now they're actually calling it that out loud. They're actually calling it that out loud. I heard a politician say it on one of the reports. So they're calling it concentration camps. That's what it is. Now, who did they have in concentration camps in the 1940s? And also, wait till you get a load to this, because history repeats itself. And I told you all this was coming, but some of y'all don't listen. Oh, it's not, we don't have anything to do with it. Oh, it's not us. So it's going to be about you in a real quick minute, because it's always about us. We're not next, we're always first. Now look at this. It says not a yellow star, but a red wristband. ICE agents admit it. Okay, they admit they are stopping and running U.S. citizens. Now, if you're a citizen, they give you something to wear so they can differentiate you from the next person. Just like back in the 1940s in Germany, they were giving people something to wear too, so they could identify them. And guess what they were giving them? Yellow stars. They were giving them yellow stars. So now, here's what they want people to wear. Hold on, let me just start this video.
Do you work here regularly or just like?
No, I'm a truck driver that picks up loads from wherever my dispatcher sends me to.
Got it.
Let's make this a little easier. Are you a U.S. citizen?
I 100% was born and raised in New York City. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
No, absolutely. Yeah.
Why don't you have a real ID here?
What's that?
Why doesn't it say real ID on your thing? It says not real.
What do you mean, not real?
No, that's for Trump.
What are you talking about?
Why don't you have
This
a
is not a real
one?
ID.
So you didn't get the real one?
This is what I got from PennDOT in Pennsylvania.
That's what they gave you?
This is what they give me, yes. It's commercial driver license. I mean, you guys, do you want my social security number? You guys can run it up?
We'll find out.
All right, that's cool.
Even U.S. citizens are getting ran, okay?
Yeah.
They're getting ran not for citizens.
No, I'm seeing this
Criminal, they get ran.
every day. I get it. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, bring laptop already.
This is fucking crazy.
Miss AP, the real ID doesn't have anything to do with this, okay? The real ID doesn't have anything to do with this, all right? Please pay attention. That's not what the real ID is for. We had to get the real ID before they even thought about putting ICE on the streets. That's not what that's for. I'm gonna find out what that's for real soon, though.
Do you always come here to pick up loads?
No.
You're not with this company?
No, I'm not with this company. This is my company right here.
That's you?
The transport rate.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not with these people. I get loads from my dispatcher and we go wherever they send us, all over New Jersey into Pennsylvania.
Yes, that's correct. Newark. No problem. I need a name brand. Fernandez. Fernandez. You have a secondary last name, or that's
The only last name, Fernandez.
Okay.
Only last name.
First name is Gary.
Ask them if they want my social too.
No.
1980. No problem. Thank you. Do you have a thing for him? If we clear him? You know the red thing?
I gotta go get it. I can go get it.
Sure, you're gonna be delayed. There's no.
Okay, I'm headed that way now. Hey, we're going to get with the man. You guys have demo. We're going to be up here with the man.
Correct. Sure, please email that to me so I have it. Okay? It does have a photo? Great. All right, perfect. All right, thank you. Thanks, bye. We found your passport,
Okay.
so we're good to go. But I have to give you the red thing.
Y'all see what they gave him? Did y'all see what they gave him? A red wristband. So he has to put that on. Now, mind you, he's a citizen. He may be foreign from a foreign land, but he's a citizen here, apparently. So that's what they're giving you. So they can tell that you're a citizen, I guess, or so they can tell that they already checked you so you don't get stopped again. You just show your wristband so you keep going. I'm not wearing a damn thing, okay? And I'm not giving them my social security number. Miss me with it. Who the hell are y'all? Y'all don't even have credentials. Get the hell out of here. And then Edward said last week, I think it was you, Edward, when I was talking trash, and then I said something about them coming to the hood, and you said, oh, the hood. You said something about Atlanta against ICE. Ah, is that what you think? Yeah, we got some scared to death Negroes, ain't we? Is that what that is? What you mean? First of all, it ain't us against them. I'm just saying, at the end of the day, do you really think a whole bunch of black folks gonna sit around and watch ICE beat the hell out of another black person? And we're just gonna watch? I don't think that's how that would go. Now, I don't know for sure, but I don't think how that's would go. I don't think that's how it would go. Now, with that all being said, let's listen to this, okay? Now, listen to what they did to this man. Now, right? I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not sitting there watching nobody get beat down to the damn ground for no good reason. That's what I'm not gonna do.
31-year-old man in Minnesota says ICE officers beat him so badly during an arrest that his skull was fractured in 8 places, and he suffered 5 brain hemorrhages. After the beating, he was so disoriented, he couldn't even remember that he had a daughter. He says ICE agents dragged him out of the car, slammed him to the ground, handcuffed him, and punched him and hit his head with a metal baton, a tool law enforcement is trained not to use on someone's head because it can be deadly. Officers later claimed he ran headfirst into a wall. Doctors and scans said absolutely not. Once at an ICE facility, he says the beating continued. He begged them to stop. He says they laughed and kept hitting him. Video from the scene shows him handcuffed, stumbling, and barely able to stand. A bystander can be heard saying, "Hope they don't kill you." At the hospital, an ICE agent reportedly joked that the man got his ass rocked. ICE and DHS have refused to answer questions. No body cam footage has been released, and the government has declined to investigate it as a civil rights case. A judge later ruled the arrest itself was unlawful. He came here legally. He has no criminal record and now can't work. He struggles with balance, memory, and needs help just to bathe himself. And he can't recall teaching his daughter how to dance. This is what law and order looks like when there's no accountability, and it's part of a pattern people are just now beginning to see.
Now, let me ask you all this. Y'all have seen what goes on over there in Gaza, right? Y'all see how those people get treated over there? Is that how y'all want to get treated over here? Is that how y'all want to get treated over here? I have questions. Because when I see people sitting here saying stuff like, oh, that's going to be them and this and that and the third, or we don't have anything to do with it, or acting all scared, y'all need to sit down somewhere. That's what y'all need to do. Y'all need to sit down somewhere. Okay? LeVar said Atlanta is considered the hood. Yeah. They call it the hood because there's so many black folk here. I don't really care that people call it the hood. Okay? Because last I checked, people don't really F around in the hood either. Okay? Yeah, they call it the hood, beloved. And we all know why. Anywhere that's highly populated with black folk, they're going to call it the hood or ghetto. They can call it whatever they want. Okay, just don't come over here with the BS. Just don't come over here with the BS. Period. Now watch this. 2-month-old baby. Okay, I want y'all to listen to this.
Some extremely serious news that I need your help spreading everywhere. A 2-month-old baby has been detained in an ICE detention facility in Texas, the Dilley Detention Facility. And right now, he is experiencing significant respiratory issues. This is Juan Nicolas. He's a 2-month-old baby. He is ICE's youngest detainee at the Dilley Detention Facility. And last night, according to News for San Antonio, he was taken to a local hospital after experiencing persistent respiratory issues. This is the same facility where Liam Ramos's health also declined while being held there. This is the same facility where young children are writing notes, some of the most heartbreaking notes you will ever see from within the facility. Right now, Juan is ICE's youngest detainee at 2 months old. Half his time on Earth has been inside the walls of a private prison in Texas. Share his story. Spread the word. I'll have more updates for you soon.
To that young man, Aaron Parnell, he does excellent journalism. He does excellent work. He works really hard, putting out numerous videos a day, and always with good updates and good news. Okay, so Leon said Dr. L. Davis would be here today if not for ICE. She was an outstanding teacher, and the pupils or the people are upset about her. Yes, of course they're upset, beloved. And she taught special ed students. And if you know anything about teaching, you know it's not easy teaching special ed students. And then also, you know, they said she was someone who always made people feel good about themselves. The kids are going to be really upset when they return to school this morning, I'm sure. So they said they would have guidance counselors, you know, or counselors on standby to talk to them. This is all sad. And yes, she would still be here had it not been for ICE. Now, people can say, oh, the immigrant fled. Sorry. Can we really blame him for fleeing? After we hear these stories, he was scared and he had a right to be, as far as I'm concerned. I'm not even going to blame the poor immigrant. I'm going to blame ICE. I'm going to blame ICE. That man was scared and he took off. And who wouldn't be? Okay, they're instilling fear in people. What do they expect? But see, some people flee when they're fearful. Some people have a whole nother reaction when they're fearful. Okay, so keep that in mind. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Now, with that all being said, let's get into it, because breaking news this morning, Les Wexner, he's going to be deposed. And also, Norway arrested the prime minister. We're going to get into that. Yeah, people being arrested over these damn Epstein files. But you mean to tell me the United States of America came out and said that there's no credible evidence to do anything? We're going to get into it. And then I'm going to show you some more credible evidence. At least it's credible to me. At least it's credible to me. I found these on the website last night. Yeah, that's right. I'm still looking. Okay, I'm still looking. At the end of the day, you know what's funny? See any black people in those damn files accused of anything except for the raccoon that sits on the Supreme Court, Clarence Thomas. I don't see any other black people in there that's accused of anything. Now, I see Barack Obama's name in there only because people were hating on him as usual, bringing up his name because they were hating, but I didn't see anything about him being accused of anything. All of those people do not look like me.
Businessman and retail mogul Les Wexner is set to be deposed later today by the House Oversight Committee in connection with its investigation into Jeffrey Epstein. Wexner has never faced criminal charges related to Epstein, but the two were associated for years, as Epstein served as Wexner's financial advisor. Wexner says he cut ties in 2007 after discovering Epstein had stolen or misappropriated hundreds of millions of dollars. Still questions about why he would give him control of those millions in the first place.
He gave him control of those millions because they were boyfriends. Stop playing games. I figured that out a long time ago. That's what it was. They were messing around with each other. That's the only reason he would give him that kind of access to his money. And he didn't stop fooling with him after 2007 when he stole that money, was still fooling with him, according to my research. But let's continue. And let me just, for the record, say allegedly.
Got to imagine we're going to hear about that later. Documents released under the Epstein Files Transparency Act list Wexner as a co-conspirator or secondary co-conspirator in Epstein's sex trafficking case, though investigators noted limited evidence regarding his involvement. It's unclear exactly what Congress members are going to ask during this deposition, which was moved from D.C. to Wexner's mansion in New Albany, Ohio, due in part to the 88-year-old's advanced age. Joining us now, former state attorney for Palm Beach County, Dave Ehrenberg. So, Dave, just first, walk us through what we know about Wexner and Epstein's relationship. Why is this such a big deal? Because to me, when I saw the committee had set this depo, I was like, okay, this could actually prove to be informative if he answers questions.
Yes, good to be with you, Allie. There's never been any allegation that Wexner has participated in the sex abuse of children, but he always needed to be questioned under oath because he was the primary source of Epstein's wealth and his social legitimacy. So I think he's going to be asked what specific services did Epstein provide that justified his extraordinary trust in him, such as giving Epstein.
You all see that red bracelet on his arm? You all see that red bracelet on his arm? I just noticed that he wears that. Do you all know how many of these celebrities wear those red bracelets? Did y'all know about that? We're going to talk about that on another live. I don't have time to talk about it right now.
Power of
Let's go.
attorney and enormous compensation. I mean, one thing we still don't know about Epstein is how did he accumulate such wealth? What were his sources of income? And how much did Wexner pay him over the years? So there are a lot of open questions. Plus, Wexner said repeatedly that he believed he could trust Epstein based on positive reports from several friends. Well, who were these friends? Does he know names of co-conspirators? So there are a lot of questions
he'll
be asked today.
Yeah, and this is really just more of the House Oversight Committee's attempt.
Okay, I don't want to hear them sitting there trying to guess what they're going to ask that man about. At the end of the day, whatever they ask him, he's not going to spill any tea, okay? That's what I know. He's not going to say anything. These people are going to keep lying. Here's the thing. Nothing is going to happen to any of these people unless we, the people, do something about it. But I don't think anybody's going to do anything. We'll see what happens March the 7th. But at the end of the day, I don't think anything's going to happen because this is a story that's happened over and over and over again. And they keep making excuses for these people that are doing it. So let me say this. I bet you all didn't even know about this. I have been researching this stuff for so many years that I have so many receipts and knowledge of this stuff. I forget sometimes. But here's the thing. Do y'all know George Bush's name was involved in something like this back in the early 80s? Yeah, it was called the Franklin cover-up. Someone wrote a book about it, which I read. Oh, let's talk about it. Reagan and Bush. Okay, how about that? Don't y'all find that interesting? And it was the same old story. It was children saying that they had been trafficked, abused, tortured. Yeah, same for satanic rituals, same story. And then it wasn't just them, it was the McMartin daycare. But they always said it was a hoax, that the kids were lying. It was the Hampstead twins over in the UK. Said that they were lying too. These stories that keep coming out. There are always politicians involved, even presidents, because there was a bunch of politicians involved too. Now the Franklin story happened in Nebraska. Okay? The Franklin story happened in Nebraska. And only one person that I can think of went to prison, and that was Larry King, Lawrence King, that they call Larry King. And he looked like he was a black guy to me. Hold on, let me see something real quick. But they didn't even send him to prison for any of that stuff that the children said was done. They sent him because of something fraudulent about his credit union where this trafficking was supposed to be taking place from, and the money, and the money and stuff or whatever. They said it was some kind of fraudulent thing they arrested him for. But yeah, they acted like everything else was all lies. That's what they said. They said it was some elaborate hoax, is what they called it. That's what they called it. Now, is this man black or white? I can't tell. I'm gonna let y'all see. Hold on, I'm gonna pull his picture up here. Hold on here. I mean, not that it really matters, but I'm just curious. He looks like he's black, though. Looks like he almost has a... Hold on. Here he is. Lawrence King may look harmless, but he was deeply involved in the whole pandering and blackmail enterprise. Yeah, they said he was blackmailing people with videos. Same thing they say now. Said he had videos of these politicians doing things with children, and he blackmailed them. Now, of course, they said it was all a hoax. Just like Trump said the Epstein files was a hoax. Okay, I want y'all to pay attention. Satanic panic is what they called it when the McMartin daycare scandal came out. They always have some excuse other than that it was the truth, what these people were saying. Isn't this man black? Isn't he black? No wonder he went to prison. No wonder he went to prison. He's the one that went to prison, okay? I think he's the only one that went, if I'm not mistaken. And like I said, he was actually the ringleader, though. So they say. So they say he was the ringleader. Now, with that all being said, let's continue. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Now, let's talk about these South Africans. And then, hold on. This is here. Oh, yeah, I'm not going to get into that. Okay, let's look at this video here about the South Africans because they said that they want to go back home. People's doing them dirty over here. Can't buy food and all these things. They're complaining about a lot. I'm like, you're in a whole new country. What did they think was going to happen? Did Trump not give them any money when they got here?
News, the white South Africans who went to USA because they were being unalived in South Africa, now they are saying that they want to return. They want to go back to South Africa. They are facing very hard life in USA. So life in USA is not what they were expecting. They thought that maybe they are going to live like queens and kings. According to some information, these people, they are going without food. They don't have money for food. Also, they don't have money for clothes. Neighbors are the ones who are helping them. These people, they were settled in a rich location. They get about $2,000 per month. Most of this money go to the rent, and they go without food or even clothes. They are saying that it's very, very hard for them in USA. So some of these people, they want to go back to South Africa, but is this even possible? Since they say that they are not safe in South Africa, is this even possible? Are they able to go back to South Africa? But the only way they can go to South Africa is saying that everything that they said about South Africa not being safe, they have to say that all those things, they were lies. And if they say that they were not true, they will be arrested because of giving false information. So most of these people, they are scared. If they tell the truth, they will be arrested. Breaking news, the white South.
Did y'all hear that? I didn't even hear that part when I listened to it the first time. I had to listen to the whole thing. Did you say that if they go back to South Africa, they're going to have to admit that they lied, said their lives were in danger, then they're going to be arrested? Talk about being between a rock and a hard place. That's what their asses get. Because they know darn well nobody was killing them over there. They got mad because some of the South Africans took back the land that they stopped in the first place. That's what that was. Okay? You stole somebody's land and now you're crying when they come and take it back. You know, like Julius Malema said, and I quote, he said, if someone come to your house and they steal your car and you go and take your car back from them, did you steal your car? Please make it all make sense. I'm with Julius. All right, they can sit down somewhere. Send them back. Maybe they should try Norway. Someone suggested that they get in touch with Elon and see if he can send them all to Mars. Should be plenty of room. Let's continue. Now, with that all being said, honey, good luck with that. That's what they get for lying, because that's what they did. They lied to get over here, and Trump lied for him and Elon. Okay, now in other news, Thomas Massey claims that Kash Patel threatened him. Yeah, he said Kash Patel threatened him on the sidelines. Honey, I wish Kash Patel would, honey, threatening somebody. Is he serious? Let's get into it.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein?
We're going to piece together the evidence in chronological order, break down their manipulative psychology, behavior, and body language to reveal the truth, and how they seem to be attempting to convince you to believe their bogus lies about the Epstein files. Now, let's get started.
Do you want to waste the time? Can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein. It just seems like a desecration.
Before Trump said all that in early July, Trump and those around him said this before they took office.
What names are in there, man? You understand how many powerful people probably want this thing to desperately go away?
Before Dan Bongino was deputy FBI director, he was all for releasing potential Epstein client names.
I'd shut down the FBI Hoover building on day one and reopening the next day as a museum of the deep state.
Before Kash Patel was the FBI director, he was quite vocal in questioning the government's transparency, often challenging the credibility of the intelligence agencies and calling out what he described as deep state corruption.
The FBI airmailed into that operation and said, this is not getting out. Because they do that because this is another government gangster operation.
You may have noticed that when people who are skeptical of power get into power, they curiously start acting like the very people they once criticized. This is because power doesn't just change their position. It changes their psychology. It creates.
It really does, because Kash Patel was talking all that trash before he was put in charge, okay? And then so was Donald Trump Jr., as I showed you all yesterday, okay? Now they're doing exactly what they were complaining about.
It's what is known in psychology as motivated reasoning. The fear of losing power to them or being ostracized by those in control becomes stronger than the drive to speak the truth.
The conspiracy theories just aren't true. Never have been.
Therefore, the same person who once warned us about institutional deception is now curiously defending the Epstein files with unwavering certainty. They quickly realize that to stay in power, they need to support those above them.
How is it that my father can be convicted of 34 crimes, but no one on Epstein's list has even been brought to light? I'm trying to figure out how that's possible, right?
Here, Donald Trump Jr. was interestingly extremely vocal, harshly criticizing the Biden administration for not releasing the Epstein client list.
It's almost like they're trying to protect those for some reason. I can't imagine why, right? We're not allowed to say they're, but when they...
Now, mind you, I told you all yesterday that he was in the files, okay? Epstein mentioned him because they were trying to arrange a dinner or coffee or something with him, okay? This was in 2019, 10 years after his first conviction. I find it interesting. And just months before he was imprisoned. Okay, please pay attention. Now, that all being said, this is a thing from where they were obviously, according to sources, trying to overthrow the Pope, Francis. Yeah, okay? It says, I can't even read this, it's so darn small. It says in the closet of the Vatican. Hold on, I can't read this, it's too darn small. I'm gonna have to enlarge it. But basically, we're trying to overthrow the Pope. What? And a few other people too, mind you. And the Epstein files. That's what it's talking about. Another thing, let me say this. And I think that Trump has to absolutely be lying about him cutting off ties with Epstein so early on, because in the emails, okay, somewhere around the time that Trump was running for president in 2016, now I haven't found this email, but someone else did, and they were saying that Epstein was acting like he was running stuff. Like he's looking to see who's going to be the treasurer or the secretary or something like that. Okay, the Secretary of Defense or something. It was some position that they said Epstein was seemingly acting like he was going to pick the person, or like he had some say-so and who got the spot. I thought that was interesting. And like he was just running stuff. Okay, please pay attention. So was Trump really done with him? Because if his son was going to be talking to him in 2019, I don't think Trump would have been done with him. I just don't believe it. Okay, I don't believe
Sort of tells you everything you need to know, right?
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less so because, you don't know it. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there.
Here in 2024, before Trump got elected again, he interestingly agrees to declassify the Epstein files, but curiously caveats it with not wanting to destroy people's lives by possibly falsely accusing people. However, that curiously aligns well with the Department of Justice now denying that there was a client list and suddenly claiming that there were no clients.
They told all kinds of lies. I'm going to stop right there. At the end of the day, yeah, it was the Treasury Secretary that they said, because I wrote it down. But yeah, it was the Treasury Secretary. They said Jeffrey Epstein was acting like he was going to pick the person, or like he had some sort of say-so. Okay, please sit down somewhere, honey. Trump needs to stop lying. Now, let's get into Kash Patel, because Massey did say that Patel made a threat about investigating someone. And see, this is how you know that they are just weaponizing their positions. Not just Trump, but them as well, apparently, because I absolutely believe Massey. Okay? He says that Kash Patel came up to him and basically made a threat. Let's get into it. And then I have to show you all these new files that I came across.
Here on camera because it's important. One of Kash Patel's staff threatened my staff with a criminal investigation if we didn't straighten up and play ball.
I was going to ask you about that, but since you brought it up, and I didn't,
I'm bringing it up.
Okay, you brought it up.
And so, like a criminal investigation having nothing to do. He said it was going to be a fraud. We're going to investigate one of your staff for fraud. Right. And he told another one of my staff this. If you guys don't straighten up, You know, if you want to play hardball, if this is how you want to play it or something like that, this member of your staff is going to get criminally investigated for fraud.
Okay, you see that? You're going to criminally investigate someone for fraud because you're mad at Massey. Y'all hear this? So trying to make people bend to the, bend to them and do whatever Trump is telling them to do. So nobody, and this is how you know they have something to hide. This is how you know they have something to hide. Why would Cash be trying to persuade this man, okay, to not do his job? Trying to silence him with threats. Okay, the whole administration should be in jail. I don't understand why they're not. Okay, I don't understand why they're not. And why are people mad as hell? People are more upset about Michael Jordan, okay, pulling on that boy's shorts than they are about the Epstein files. Y'all gonna find that interesting? We're gonna talk about that because I want to know what y'all think about it. So now listen to this. This is how you know that they're on some BS. Now, during this exchange between Bondi, when she was at the hearing, this woman, I'm going to call her a woman, and I use the term loosely, she's sitting there having a whole conversation about vapes. Now, you can tell that this guy didn't want to ask her any serious questions, and darn sure didn't want to ask her about the Epstein debacle. He skipped right past that and said, you know what? Let's talk about vapes. These nefarious vapes coming from China that the kids are getting a hold to. They've got illegal substances like fentanyl in them. So that's what y'all are talking about?
General, thank you for being here, and I wanted to make sure you had time to respond. I'm going to change gears a little bit. In October, when you were testifying before the Senate, I know you and my friend Senator Katie Britt discussed concerns of infiltration of the illegal Chinese vapes into our country. As a father of three, obviously, I'm worried a little bit about this, and I believe that many parents in the country share our similar concerns.
He said, as a father of three, I'm a little concerned about this, and I believe many families or parents in the country have the same concern. No, parents in this country have the concern about PDF files out here abducting, torturing, R-wording, and then murdering and possibly eating their damn children. Well, let's talk about vapes from China.
Can you provide an update on DOJ's work in this space over the past few months?
Yes, and thank you for bringing that up. We're talking about the vapes. And this should be an issue where both sides of the aisle can work together on. Parents need to understand, children need to understand that so many of these are being manufactured in China, sent to our country, and have the potential to be laced with lethal drugs. We've seen an overdose. We need to get on the front end of this before we have another crisis and children are dying. I've partnered with Secretary Kennedy, of course, at HHS on this matter, but thank you for bringing it up. You know, they're selling these things as flavored vapes illegally in many stores around the country. Secretary Kennedy and I actually we went and did something on this, and it was sadly the day that Charlie Kirk was assassinated. And so it didn't get a lot of attention, nor should it have after that happened. But yes, we're continuing to work on that. And thank you for bringing that up. That's happening in all of our states. And I would ask everyone here, I know Congresswoman Ross was just nodding, it's happening in every state. And not only are they laced with THC, many of these vapes, but they could be laced with fentanyl. We have had a child, I wish I could think of the state it was in, but we have already had someone overdose. And we have to get together on this, and we have to get on the front end of this. And I would love to work across the aisle on this.
Now here's my question, Miss Blondie, if you will. How come she didn't have that same amount of energy and vigor for these Epstein files? And how come she wasn't so willing to speak, okay, and didn't have so much to say when they were questioning her about it? Because she was clearly stonewalling, but now she has a whole lot to say. Are y'all listening? Just pay attention to how much she has to say. Somebody said, imagine this passion for the victims. They're all in on it. The system is breaking in real time around where, yeah, it is. Saying the cover-up is real. This was a real conversation during the Epstein hearing. Talking about vapes.
to protect our kids. How many school kids do you see now vaping? And it's not only, I believe a vape has 20 cigarettes, but you know, that's one vape is 20 cigarettes. I believe it is, but also what they could be laced with, because so many of them, the majority of them, are manufactured in China.
Sure. And if
Girl, bye. She needs to sit down somewhere. Here she is again. Y'all know she used to be a waitress. This is Pam Bondi when she worked as a waitress. They said that she was doing the same kind of stuff whenever people would come into the restaurant. Please pay attention.
Hi, what are your specials? Well, you know, it's funny. Since my time as waitress, I have completed more orders than
sorry, what are the specials of
Excuse
the
me. I'm going to answer the question when I'm good and ready. Your theatrics are ridiculous. Okay, the market price fish might be up, but the Dow is down.
Oh, you can't read the menu because of redactions?
How about you apologize for coming in here with a party of 11?
Ma'am, could I get a refill on water? Did you drink the water I already gave you? Yeah, but I want.
So you admit that I already gave you water?
Yeah, but
I yield my time.
Ma'am.
Oh, so you want to complain that I gave you pickles when you said you didn't want pickles, but how about you apologize for a complicated order? I have yet to hear an apology from you, or you for that matter. What are the gluten-free options? How about you grow a pair?
A turkey burger?
This guy's got beef derangement syndrome over here. Give me a break.
Check, please.
You do not tell me what to do. I will get you the check when I want to get you the check.
And could I please get that with Italian dressing?
Italian dressing? In America? Just say you love illegal invaders.
Greetings. Hi, what are your specials?
God. This lady is darn funny. Okay, somebody needs to put that on Saturday Night Live, honey, because that was hilarious. Okay. Yeah, when she said Italian dressing in America, just say you love foreign invaders. Anyway, let's continue.
Came across a post from a journalist who's trying to say there's no credible evidence in the Epstein case, and they're being 100% serious. Look at this. Here's what they had to say. No credible evidence for PDF, blackmail, SA on SA Island, large-scale trafficking, crimes by prominent individuals, or intelligence involvement in the Florida case. They will marvel at this mass delusion hundreds of years from now. It's stunning. I looked at several other posts from this guy just to make sure he wasn't being sarcastic, and he's not. He's continued to push this narrative time and time again. How can anybody possibly think there's no evidence of PDF? Look at this. Somebody sent Epstein a picture saying age 10, and there's no evidence of any prominent people being involved. Epstein was bragging about sending another girl to Kimball Musk, Elon's brother. And somebody whose name was redacted messaged Epstein saying, "Thank you for a fun night. Your littlest girl was a little naughty." They say there's no evidence of blackmail, but they found several hidden cameras at Epstein's properties in bedrooms. We also have this email conversation confirming the purchase of multiple hidden cameras to be installed into Kleenex boxes. And as for intelligence involvement, there's tons of evidence of that as well. Like this conversation between Epstein and Steve Bannon, where he talks about being in Paris, then saying the intel here is superb. He then says he's going into an SCIF talk tomorrow. Steve Bannon says, always the best kind. These are used by militaries or intelligence agencies to discuss highly sensitive information. Both Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein were convicted in U.S. courts for crimes against children. How can anybody possibly think there's no evidence? I just came across a post from a journalist who's trying to say
Must be a journalist for CBS, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, because I think they're bought and paid for. Now, here's what I want you to pay attention to, because like he said, there is several emails where they're talking about the cameras. Because now they came out at some point and said, you know, that there was no cameras in Epstein's properties. Oh, yeah, there is. It's all in the emails, honey. You can't lie. The evidence is right here. It says, and this is from Wednesday, February the 5th of 2014. Jeffrey, I already purchased the motion sensor camera from the spy store in Fort Lauderdale yesterday. I charged them last night and figured our figuring out, they've got typos, okay, figuring out how to work them as we speak. It's amazing how small they are. Now, the size of the thumbnail drive, 64-hour recording, motion sensor, and I'm installing them into Kleenex boxes. I'll bring them by later today. I just had a root canal done, so I'm still hurting. So hiding them in Kleenex boxes. Hiding these cameras in Kleenex boxes. Sweet Butter said, yes, Queen, CBS has new owners under new management of the unspeakable. You already know, I know Barry White, so we know who she is. Okay, thank you, beloved. Absolutely. Miss AP says CBS, ABC, NBC, Fox News, CNN. Okay, get most of their money from billionaires. All of these people, let me tell you something. There's a bunch of stuff they're not reporting on. Okay, and they're sitting here trying to paint these fictitious narratives, but guess what? Hold on. They talk about no credible evidence. Trump said the files exonerated and absolved him. Trump's crazy. Okay, literally. Now, with that all been said, let me show you what I found last night, because Trump needs to sit down somewhere, and I'm going to keep digging, okay, till I find all the dirt. Now, here we go. And mind you, I told you all that this is only like 2%. They have at least 50 more terabytes of stuff that they refuse to release. And the reason they don't want to release it, it's because they don't want y'all to find out that they still been eating Black people, just like they did our ancestors. That's what they don't want y'all to find out. I keep telling y'all they don't want you to find out. And also, let me tell you something else. When I was reading this email, and I want y'all to pay attention, I was reading this email right here, and I was just about to move on to something else because it was like 7 pages. So I was like, okay. And mind you, 7 pages is not a lot, but because y'all know I do lawsuits on here, I read the lawsuits that are longer than that. But I was trying to move swiftly because I had to go through lots of files. So, but I kept reading, and then I saw where the girl said that Epstein told her to go bring some other girls. Don't bring him any NIGGERSs. Now, remember, he said that one time before. And in that exchange, when he said it, he said because Trump's going to be there. So Trump didn't want Black girls, apparently. So as I'm reading that, and he says, go get these girls, and he said, don't bring any NIGGERSs. I said, let me keep reading, because Trump is probably going to be in on this. And guess what? I was right. So let's get into it. Let's get into it. Like stuff. And here's the thing, too. Clarence Thomas of the Supreme Court is the only Black person that I have uncovered in the emails thus far that has been accused of anything nefarious. But they did say that when he would be around, someone said, I think it was Sasha Riley. This wasn't in the emails, but a witness said this, a survivor. And I want to say it was Sasha Riley, said that, remember, wasn't it Sasha Riley who said that his father was glad? That's who it was, because Sasha Riley said that his father, William Riley, was glad when Clarence Thomas got nominated for the Supreme Court because his father felt so thrilled that someone who was in on this stuff with them got such a high position. And he was thrilled about it. Sasha also said that when Clarence Thomas was around, and he remembered him because he was the only Black guy that he ever saw. And so when he was around, they would do different things. Now, he didn't say what the different things were. He said they would do different things. What do you think those different things were? Eating Black people, because he's Black. How much y'all want to be? I promise you that's it. The Most High already showed me this stuff in a dream. Y'all know I be predicting stuff and I be right all the time. Okay, I have not been wrong yet. I promise you. Y'all know that. So anyway, let's get into it. Now, I'm not going to read this whole thing. I'm going to go to the part right before it gets to Donald Trump. I think it's around page 6. Now, let me just give you some background on this whole thing, the parts that I'm not going to read. So this young lady was about 13 years old, and her mother thought it would be a good idea for her to start working, like, babysitting or whatnot. So her mother told her that she wanted her to do a babysitting job for this man named Jeff. So her mother took her to Jeff's house. She goes in, she meets him. She's looking around for his wife and children, and she doesn't see any. When her mother leaves after dropping her off, Jeffrey offers her marijuana, alcohol, and I think Coca-Cola. He offered her illegal substances, that's for sure. Now, she said that she had already tried all of these things before, but just not at the same time. So she did the illegal substances with him, and then afterwards, she said he made her taste the cucumber. And then they were asking her, you know, because she's giving this information to, I guess, law enforcement, but they say they don't have incredible evidence, right? And then so the lots of witnesses gave information to law enforcement is what I'm telling you. Okay, so where is that? So anyway, and you know, I just thought about something. Do you all remember about 2 years ago when they released 900 and something pages of those files that were from the depositions? I need to go back through there because I'm sure there's some stuff in there also that could be used possibly to prosecute some people, but they want to act like they don't have any information or no credible evidence. So anyway, after Jeffrey Epstein did what he did, she left. Then she went to visit him again. And then he was kind of brutal with her on the second or third time. And he told her that basically she needs to bring some other girls. Okay, that's what he told her. Now, let's get into it. I'm going to start on page 6 out of 9 pages. Okay, here we go. Now, I'm going to start right here, okay? This is page 5. Now it says, not long after, blank blank sent a blank text asking, do these names sound familiar? And then sent a text to blank containing the name Jeffrey Epstein, as well as other names. Blank did not feel comfortable providing the additional names at the time of the interview. Soon after, blank sent a photograph to blank via text message and asked something to the effect of whether blank knew the name of the person in the photo. And is this the guy? Blake advised looking at the person in the photograph took me back, and she had a fleeting thought that he reminded her of Lurch from the Addams Family. And Blank told Blank to turn on the news, which Blank stated she does not generally watch. Jeffrey Epstein's face was one I couldn't forget. Blank then told Blank about an SEX ring and indicated that Jeffrey Epstein got into trouble years ago, but received a slap on the wrist regarding something that happened in Florida. So Blank later viewed the image Blank sent her with her friend and neighbor. Okay, with her friend and neighbor. Okay, Blank told Blank that this is the person who has caused me great harm and affected my entire life. He's a nightmare. Blank advised the photograph Blank sent her was still saved in her cell phone messages. Upon request by the agents, Blank accessed the image, and before she showed the picture to the interviewing agents, Blank asked whether she could crop the picture or the photo to include only the man she was referring to. Okay, now she wanted to crop someone else out of that picture. Okay, so essentially cropping out one or more individuals also included in the picture. Blank attorney, Mr. Blank, offhandedly mentions the word president while looking at the image on Blank's cell phone. The agents asked whether Blank would be comfortable explaining why she wanted to crop the photograph. When Blank hesitated, Blank's attorney advised Blank was concerned about implicating additional individuals, and specifically any that were well known, due to fear of retaliation. So she didn't want to tell them that Trump was involved. She didn't want to tell them that Trump was involved because she was worried about retaliation, okay? Thank you, Sheila, beloved. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. Okay, now she didn't want to say anything about Trump, clearly, out of fear. Okay, now the agents advised Blank she could crop the image to show only what she felt comfortable with, if she felt it was necessary. Now, here's an administrative note. Blank agreed to allow the agents to take a photograph of the cropped image attached electronically as an 1A attachment. Of note, the particular image sent to her by Blank was recognized by agents as a widely distributed photograph by Jeffrey Epstein, okay, and current United States President Donald Trump. Okay, that's who was in the picture. Now, the cropped image Blank provided to the agents only included Jeffrey Epstein. Blank advised the agents she was 100% positive the man in the photograph was Jeff. Okay, the man detailed above. Now, who she initially believed she was hired to babysit for, and who actually abused Blank multiple times, beginning when she was approximately 13 years old on Blank. Now, while observing the image in the presence of the agents, Blank advised she had not seen Jeff in a long time and that he looked a little older in the photograph than she remembered him. Blank advised the person wasn't that attractive back then. Okay, with respect to the other individual she cropped out of the image. Blank advised there was someone she had met. No further information provided. Blank advised that she learned Jeff took Polaroid photographs of her engaged in sexual activity, possibly during her first encounter or interaction with him, and definitely during her third interaction. Blank stated that during her third interaction with Jeff, which happened within a few days of the second incident, Blank opened a drawer in the house and observed a lot of photos. Now, she saw photographs of herself, but was not sure whether all the photographs included in the drawer were her. And she wanted to take all of the photographs to try to piece together the holes in her memory as to what had happened during her previous interactions with Jeff. And also because she was embarrassed that she was naked in the pictures. However, Jeff caught Blank looking at the pictures. He became very angry when he caught her. So she was going through his drawer. And here's the thing, if you're wondering why she didn't remember everything, because she said that when she went there, even though she voluntarily took the illegal substances, she said she thinks that he put something in her drink because she started feeling real funny or whatever and then passed out, I guess. And when she came to, she didn't remember certain things. Like there was lapses in memory. This really sounded like Blink Twice. That's what it sounded like, okay? This sounded like Blink Twice to me. As a matter of fact, a lot of this stuff does. Just 10 times worse. Okay, now with that all being said, hold on. Where was I at? Okay, so the last thing I said was she got caught looking at the photos. Okay, asked what Jeff did when he caught her looking at the pictures. Blank stated he graped me. Jeff bent her over and graped her, and it wasn't from the front. Jeff called Blank a stupid bitch and stated that being nosy isn't good for you. He told her she was going to get herself in trouble, and now she owed him. Blank advised that that was the point when the threat started. That's when he turned. Blank recalled Jeff also said some words to her in a different language that she did not understand. Probably spoke Yiddish. Now, when Jeff got nervous, he sometimes sounded differently. He sounded like he had a lisp. He did not have a thick New York accent. Okay, Blank recalled Jeff had an eye tooth that looked like a snaggle tooth at that time. She recalled he was not terribly ugly. Not terribly ugly, just a little ugly. He always dressed well and wore cardboard shorts and penny loafers. He had a habit of changing the pennies in his loafers frequently, and they were always to brand new pennies. Blank stated that she had only seen children's pennies at the front. Okay, I'm gonna skip past all that. And so anyway, basically, she said, now listen to this. Jeff used objects to sexually assault Blank. She specifically recalled that on at least one occasion, he used beer bottles and a golf club handle to R-word her from the back door and the front door. At some point, Jeff told her, if you don't want this to happen to you, you need to go find me some friends. That's what he told her. You need to go find me some friends. So anyway, this is all egregious. Okay, let me see how much more of this I'm going to read. There was sometimes while Jeff was R-wording her and that he pulled her hair, covered her mouth and nose at the same time, and put his hand on her throat. Blank thought the act of placing his hand on her throat was more of a threat than actually attempting to strangle her. She did not recall him squeezing her throat. Blank did not recall Jeff binding her body toward the sexual assaults or during the sexual assaults. He never full on punched her. However, he squeezed her bottom and melons and would yank her nipples to the point that the actions were very painful. This is all crazy. Do y'all hear this? This is all a hot mess. And then he was telling her, he was talking about her to some guy, right? And she said she heard him telling the guy, this is why fresh meat is good. You can do whatever you want. That's what she said when he had other guys there. One of them was allegedly Trump, according to her. The men, now here's what she said. There was 2 men that came in. That's the men she cropped out of the pictures, I would imagine. Okay, and Blank indicated that due to the time that had lapsed since the events involving Jeff occurred over 30 years, she had difficulty remembering exactly when some of the interactions occurred and in what order. Blank recalled that during her 4th or 5th interaction with Jeff, there were 2 other men in his house as well. Blank advised that she may know the name of one man, but she did not feel comfortable providing it at the time. Jeff was introducing her to these pigs. Now, Jeff bragged and showed the men the things he had done to her. Okay, he probably showed the photos, I guess. Jeff made a statement to the effect of, "This is why the fresh meat is good. You can do whatever you want to." Okay, the men masturbated as Jeff actually assaulted her. During this interaction, Jeff penetrated her from the front with both some objects and his cucumber. She remembered that at some point she was alone with the 2 men after Jeff did his sick-ish and excused himself because he was planning for other girls to show up at the house. Blank described the 2 men as fat and disgusting. Well, that sounds like Trump. Fat and disgusting. She didn't say anything about him being orange, but anyway, both were older than Jeff. Both of the men had Southern accents. Well, that ain't Trump. Blank recalled Jeff's big thing was the JJ fresh meat. When the agents began to ask questions regarding whether the 2 men at the house participated in sexually assaulting Blank, Blank became very emotional and advised that she could not continue and needed to take a break that day. The interview ended with a plan to continue a follow-up interview in the near future. Ooh, these people are something else. These people are something else. I feel really bad for these children. This is absolutely egregious. Okay, so with that all being said, Lord, they said Tim Tebow's in the emails, y'all. Tim Tebow? And he's supposed to be a good little old Christian and all that. He's the one that knelt during the national anthem. He said it was against his religion, talking about abortions in 2013. But you know, they say he's in the emails, y'all. I didn't see him in there. I didn't look for him, quite frankly. But they say he's in there. Hold on. Ooh, they said Tim Tebow's in there, honey. They said everybody. I know who's not in there. But let me tell you all something, though. You all think it's just me? Here's what I think. I just really think that people who don't look like me, I want y'all to pay attention. Now, some people are very mad. Some people are talking about doing stuff. Some people are talking about protesting, boycott, or whatever. Some people are willing to just risk it all, okay, according to them. But here's the thing I find interesting. Really think that a lot more of them would be a whole lot more upset if the men doing this were Black. Yeah, that's what I think. Because they had all that smoke for Diddy. I want you all to pay attention, even Black people too. All these Black people and white people, everybody had so much damn smoke for Diddy. Oh, Cassie this and Cassie that. Cassie was a willing participant. Miss me with it. She knew what she was doing. Now, she didn't deserve to get her arse beat, but she knew what she was doing. She signed up for it. She wanted the money. It was all about the lavish lifestyle. Okay? But with that all being said, so many people had so much smoke for Diddy. They had so much smoke for R. Kelly, for Bill Cosby. They always got so much smoke for Black men. I bet y'all forgot that those Alexander brothers, the 3 rich white men who are trafficking, who've been accused of trafficking and a whole bunch of other things, rugging people and taking advantage. The same things that Diddy was accused of. Yeah. Y'all forgot that they're on trial right now. I reported it to you when they went to trial. I reported it to you before they went to trial. See, nobody talks about the white men. They always want to talk about Black men. See, here's another thing I noticed too that pissed me off. I noticed that people seemed a whole lot more upset about Michael Jordan than they are the damn files. Yeah, that's what it looked like to me. That's what it looked like to me. It looked like a whole lot of people were talking a whole lot of shite about Michael Jordan. Well, where are y'all on the Epstein files? The one guy did a video and said, oh, this white guy, he did a video. He said, oh, people are throwing away their Jordans because of Michael Jackson. Also, y'all throwing away Jordans? Y'all throwing away Abercrombie and Fitch. Exactly. I reported them too. I broke the story on them. Let's just go down the list. Hold on, so y'all don't keep putting stuff in the chat. Okay, Abercrombie and Fitch. I broke the story on that about 2 years ago. Okay, Vince McMahon, Russell Brand, Jimmy Ivan. Who else? There's a bunch of them. Nigel from what's that show Nigel was on with Paula Abdul. Nigel Lithgorn, whatever his name is, him. Who else? I mean, there's so many. Can barely keep up. Just to know that if it's somebody accused of anything heinous pertaining to sexual deviancy, I reported on it already. Okay? If it's already out there, I already reported on it. I was the first one to do so. And I've been doing this for years. Most people, like I said, they only want to report on the black folk. I don't know what's up with that.
Disgusting thing that has not been answered for yet as of now regarding the files, in my estimation, is the mention of Tim Tebow, the former Heisman Trophy winner, NFL player, minor league baseball player, Christian preacher, guy who runs hedge fund that invests in technology, crypto, and now tries to find missing and lost and abused children, getting funds from the government while lobbying Congress and the president directly as a Christian conservative, who once in his past, deep, dark past, used to go to the Philippines at Uncle Dick's Christian Mission, a place founded by his own father, to assist in performing circumcisions on men and children. I'm former MLB agent Joshua Kuznick, and no one finds it weird that Tim Tebow, the Christian that I just described, was at a party with Ari Emanuel, the talent agent, Rahm Emanuel's brother. What was he doing at that party where an Epstein victim was trafficked? Can someone ask him? Bomb. The most disgusting thing that
That's what they said. That's what they said, honey. Oh, Elvis Presley, I talked about him too. And Jerry Lee Lewis. I'm just saying you can go all the way back to wherever. I reported on him. I promise you that. Okay, I even reported, let me tell you something. I reported on the first freak off in 1932. Okay, y'all remember that? What was his name? Arbuckle. That was his last name, Arbuckle. What was his first name? Buddy Arbuckle, the fat guy. Y'all remember him? Yeah. That ruined his career back then. Measure Man says, yep, Queen, I read the emails where Jeffrey Epstein started getting his teeth fixed. He said he needed to get over his laps and be molar. Spent $12K. Well, that was cheap for him to be a whole billionaire. But thank you, beloved. I appreciate your insight into the topic and your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. Now, with that all being said, let's continue. Because I have to let y'all know what Oprah had to say when she got wind of what people were saying about these Epstein files. Oprah, please sit your ass down somewhere, because honey, your hands are not clean as far as I'm concerned. Now, I haven't found Oprah in the Epstein files. I haven't found Oprah in the Epstein files, but I think that she's nefarious just because she was hanging out with Harvey Weinstein. Just because she was hanging out with David Geffen. Okay, the man who allegedly put out that rumor on Michael Jackson so many years ago. And she smiled in Michael Jackson's face. And then she had Safe Chuck and that other lying dog on her platform lying on Michael Jackson. She knew they were lying. She knew they were lying. Michael was acquitted. Okay? Michael was acquitted. But here she is. And let's not forget she was hanging out with John of God, who supposedly raped 400-something women, who's now in prison. How does she know all these PDF files and freaks and deviants? How does she know all these people if she's not doing anything nefarious? Not that she just knows them. She literally hangs out with them. Okay? I have questions, Oprah. What about that school she opened over there and them girls came up abused, sexually abused? One of them that was a minor was impregnated, had the poor baby in a duffel bag, bleeding, took her to the hospital, baby's dead in the bag, and they never said who impregnated this child?
Spoken out in regards to the Epstein files. Check this out.
And so to hear people say things that are just crazy, like I'm a part of a cabal and there's a whole conspiracy with children, that stuff makes me sad. It makes me sad more than anything that people would believe it. And, you know, it's taken me a long time to get to the point that I'm not, I don't feel hurt by it. I don't feel personally hurt by it. But now I know we live in a world where it's going to be magnified.
Well, Oprah, this child conspiracy has proven to be true thanks to the Epstein files. And your name is mentioned over 100 times in those files. Now, whether or not you
I forgot to unmute myself. Sorry. This is what I was going to say, though. It's in the Epstein files over 100 times. I don't even know that. But then again, I haven't really been looking for her. But I will do a deep dive tonight. But here's the question. Do y'all notice anything funny about Oprah? Look at Oprah's face.
were involved in these crimes with Epstein still to be determined. However, we haven't forgot about this. This man named the John of God, who you promoted on your show and called a spiritual healer. Yeah, you had a pretty close relationship with this man and you endorsed him. This man who is now behind bars for the rest of his life. For what, you might ask? For running a baby farm in Brazil where he held women hostage, raped them, abused them, forced them to have babies, and sold those babies on the black market. Yeah, Oprah, your case isn't looking so good. It blows my mind when these people try to play dumb and act like these claims are just ridiculous. You know about this stuff, Oprah. You had a satanic family on your show.
Oh, how did he got the receipts? I didn't watch this video. I just looked for a video with Oprah explaining herself because I'd seen it days ago. But listen, this is exactly what I was about to tell y'all. I'm so glad he's talking about it because I was just about to say, girl, stop playing with us. You know, darn well you've had these people on your show back in 1989. And then they banned the show because of what the people said about them children being eaten, killed, and sacrificed and all kind of nefarious stuff. Okay?
Who confess that they come from a line of people who sacrifice babies for blood rituals to Satan. You know what's going on, Oprah. You've been exposed to this a long time ago. It's judgment time, and may God expose it all and bring everybody to accountability. They're trying to scrub this episode from Oprah off the internet, but I have a copy of it preserved. If you want to check this episode out, head over to my Patreon page where you can view the uncensored version of this video. Head over, subscribe, and I'll see you guys there. God bless.
Yeah, I got a copy of it too. Okay, so Oprah, please miss me with it. I have a copy of that same video. Yeah, she needs to sit down somewhere. Now, with that all being said, I think we can say that Oprah's lying. Okay, she knew exactly what was going on. That's why she opened that school over there in Johannesburg. And I want you all to pay attention to something. You see, when Jeffrey Epstein is talking about Black people in those emails, he's usually talking about Africans. He's usually talking about Africans, okay? That's what he usually was talking about, the Africans. He mentioned them several times. Why were they all over there in Africa, him and Bill Gates and all of them? They love to go over there to Africa. See, here's why. Let me tell you all something. You see, if you remember, I did a story about 5 years ago about the Gambia. Do y'all remember that? And I told you how the Western men that don't look like me, they go over to the Gambia and they pay those parents or traffickers for children. This has been going on for quite some time. The people over there are so poor, they don't even have shoes, some of them. They're so desperate, they will let them people do whatever just for a few dollars to get something to eat. There was a man over there, got on a plane, boarded a plane with a 6-year-old child. A woman went and said something to the flight attendants or whomever, and they got the child off. He was taking the child out of there. This is what they do. Oprah knows about all this stuff. She could miss me with it. Okay, she knows about all this stuff that's going on. Like he said, she's had that person on her show from 1988 or 89, and they did ban it. They absolutely did. That's why I made sure to download it. Okay, now that all being said, and I probably post it on Rumble sometime this weekend if I ever get to it. Okay, now I find it all interesting, but let's keep going. There's a whole bunch of stuff I have to tell y'all, honey. I don't even have time in the day. We're going to talk about some of this stuff probably tomorrow. I don't know. Maybe I'll come back later on today because I have to tell y'all some stuff about bald, and that's bald, B-A-A-L. Okay? I need to tell y'all about that because what I want you all to pay attention to is they have really, really brainwashed us. They brainwashed us. Okay? They brainwashed us. Alice said, yes, you did, Queen. Thank you. Okay, Sosa said, yes, you did, and they're still doing it. Exactly. They brainwashed us all. I want y'all to pay attention. Now, I was sitting here thinking, right? And I said, now, when does this stuff start? Because first of all, if you have them indoctrinating us, in school and things, because that's what they do. You had Ghislaine Maxwell's father, Robert Maxwell, making the books that we learned from in school. You had Life Touch taking the photographs of us when we were in school. And then they were secretly making catalogs of our pictures, the parents' information when they pay with checks, and you had to fill out the stuff anyway. So they had all your information. And so allegedly they were taking that information, picking out the kids they wanted, and going and getting those kids. Do y'all hear this? Now I want you to think about those of you who are old enough, like myself. I want you to think about when we were children and we used to see children on the milk cartons. And then we started seeing the people with the milk mustaches. Gotta have milk. Milk, it does the body good. All of that stuff's connected. All of it's all connected. I want y'all to pay attention. Okay? At the end of the day, they've been doing this stuff forever. They've been doing this stuff forever. And all they do is when they've gotten caught any other time before, they got away with it by simply saying that people were lying because it sounds crazy. Let me tell y'all something. There's people right now. Let me just tell you all what the great deception is. That's the title of this video. I'm about to tell you why it's called that, because this is a deception coming. The Antichrist is either here or on the way. But I will tell you this. The Most High showed me this in a dream a couple of nights ago. The veil is thinning. Why is all this stuff coming out now? They're not going to get away with this. They're not going to get away with this. The veil is thinning. Like it's literally almost gone. We're in the age of Aquarius where truths will be revealed and people's consciousness levels will rise. Now, with that all being said, I want y'all to pay attention because we've been living in a whole matrix. Okay? We've been living in a whole matrix. This is like the same thing happening over and over and over. People keep finding out and keep going to law enforcement, and trying to get help. Those people turn up dead or they get arrested because y'all didn't even know this. Let me tell you something. With that whole Franklin cover-up, do you know that some of the victims went to prison? Accused them of perjury and lying. Sent them to jail. Now, I want you to think about a child who's been victimized, traumatized, and been through all these heinous things of which we've read about and heard about. And then for them to be brave enough to pull themselves up and hold themselves together to come and sit amongst strangers and detail explicitly the things that happened to them that are so humiliating. I'm so sure they were embarrassed, traumatized, hurt, and all of that. And to tell people what happened to them only to be told that they're liars, that you're making this up and taking them to jail. Isn't that awful? Can you imagine that? But that's what they've been doing, but they're not going to keep doing that. That's not going to fly this time. And I'm going to tell you what they also have right now. They have some MAGA millions. They have some MAGA millions out here on the internet lying. Alex Jones. I thought he was a truth searcher. Okay? They call him a conspiracy theorist. He's been out here acting like he's trying to gather receipts. He's up here lying for Trump, trying to clear Trump. Oh, Trump was a whistleblower. He knows damn well Trump was no whistleblower. Did y'all look at the paperwork? The paperwork said 2019. Jeffrey Epstein had already been convicted in 2008. And he already was under investigation in 2019. So what is Trump talking about? Why are they trying to say Trump was a damn whistleblower? He didn't blow a whistle. The best way, now he did cooperate, but that's because he already knew the gig was up. Jeffrey's already. Best thing for him to do is start talking. He probably didn't tell them anything that they didn't already know. Because he darn sure didn't tell them the stuff we see in these files. How can anybody call Trump a whistleblower when he's accused of a myriad of heinous things in these files? A myriad of things in these files. But not just Alex Jones. There's paid influencers who are out here doing the same thing. There's a guy who did a video and he was like, yeah, some of y'all are out here. Y'all are making up stuff about them being cannibals just because them, SA the kids wasn't enough. Y'all gotta lie and say they were for clout. Y'all out here lying and say they were cannibals. Oh, I'm sorry, they weren't cannibals? They weren't cannibals? They weren't eating them? What the hell is beef jerky and walnut sauce? Why are survivors coming out and saying they saw cooked babies? Why did the little Hampstead twins come out and say that they were forced to eat the babies? And they're not the only ones. So I'm sorry. They have people out here telling lies. But here, let me tell you the main lie. Let me tell you the main lie they got going now. So you all know how in the Bible, remember in the Garden of Eden when the serpent came to Eve and told her she could eat of the fruit and then from the tree of knowledge, and then she would be wise and she'd have knowledge. The tree that God told her not to eat from, and she ate from that tree, right? So there is this fool out there saying, she don't look like me. Please pay attention. She was out there saying that, how can I put this? I don't remember her exact words. I'm gonna tell you like this. She basically said, hold on, do I have her video? I think I need to just let y'all hear. She basically was saying something about, how did she put it? She was basically saying that God was bad and that the devil, well, she didn't literally say, that's what she was kind of, there's that darn Oprah video right there. I didn't mean to pull that up. No, she basically was saying, she was saying that the people doing these things, okay, here's what she said. The people doing these things are not Satanists. She said they're Christians and Jews. And she said that, you know, they do this stuff and then they drink Jesus's blood. And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Where would they get Jesus's blood from? They're drinking the blood of those children that they're sacrificing, allegedly. So then I start reading the comments because there's a bunch of people that look like her. And she's got over 2 million views on this video so far. Please pay attention. So then people are in the comments saying stuff like, oh, yeah, you know, you're right. These are all MAGA people. They're saying stuff like, oh, yeah, you're right. Because just think about in the Garden of Eden, God didn't even want them to be smart. It was the light bearer. Now remember, Satan's name was Lucifer, which is the bringer of light. And it was the light bearer who gave them the knowledge and the information. God didn't even want them to know stuff. Like saying that God wanted them to be stupid and Satan did them a favor by giving them this information that they should not know. Now, I want you all to pay attention because here's the problem. First of all, this person, and there was many more people saying the same thing like him, but these people are trying to paint the narrative that God is the bad guy now. Y'all hear this? And Satan is good. And then there was a Satanist in the chat, and he said, oh, well, I'll tell you what, I'm a Satanist, and what we don't do is SA kids. And we definitely don't eat anybody. I want you all to pay attention. These people are trying to flip the script. This is a whole big deception. But see, this is not a surprise because they say that in these days, these things will happen. People will be out here lying and saying blasphemous things. Okay, so I find it all interesting. Now, mind you, let me see if I have that video. That video really ticked me off. Okay, but yeah, so that's what they were saying. And just trying to paint a whole narrative. Trying to paint a whole narrative. Hold on. Maybe I'll come across it. Anyway, I thought that was very interesting. Yes, the masses will be deceived. Peaceful living. Exactly. The fools will. Because who's going to believe that? But this is what they were putting out there. Saying these people weren't Satanists. Honey, if you worship Satan and you engage in satanic rituals, yeah, that's exactly what you are. Now, you can call yourself a Christian or something else, but that's not what you are. That's what you're masquerading as. Measure Man said, did you see the bloodline of the email of the Anati in Jeff email? I downloaded it and he advised on McGraw Books. No, I didn't. I don't remember seeing that, beloved. Thank you for your insight to the topic and your contribution to the channel. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. The bloodline. I didn't see that. Daniel said, Queen, my prayer for you is that you get your own independent network and own app. Thank you, beloved. I appreciate you. You know, I need to do that. I really do. You know, I'm considering that for this year. I really am considering it. It's a whole lot of work, and it's just a little old me. You know, some people have assistants and all that. All right, I don't have any assistants, beloved. That would be nice. But yeah, anyway, Thank you for your contribution to the channel, though, Danielle. You know, that's something I really, really have been considering, though. But thank you for your contribution to the channel. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. Okay, so anyway, with that all being said, these people out here just telling all these lies, and it's just really so annoying. It really is annoying. Let me see something here. Where's that darn video? Okay, let's move on. Let's move on. Hold on, let me delete this real quick. Okay, so now let's go to Ghislaine. No, we're gonna go to Jeffrey Epstein. Because Jeffrey Epstein was sitting in this interview in 2010. And just the one admit to it, even though he's already busted. Sitting up here lying. I also have one of Ghislaine Maxwell too. These are just like a couple of minutes long, but I just want you all to see how these devils sitting up here lying. No, they're dirty.
Any remorse for your actions against these victims that led to your plea of guilty?
Form argumentative. I pled guilty to solicitation of prostitution, not underage prostitution, simply prostitution.
Are you saying now that the subjects of that, which we're calling victims, were not underage when you engaged in sex with them?
Form argumentative, speculation, and assumes facts not in evidence, as well as mischaracterizes the witness's testimony. I pled guilty to solicitation of prostitution, not underage prostitution, solicitation of prostitution.
I was of the impression that you pled guilty to a second-degree felony, that being procuring a minor for the purposes of prostitution.
That's correct.
Okay, so a minor is somebody under the age of 18, and I'm asking for the guilty plea related to that count. Are you at all remorseful for your interactions with that minor?
Same objections. What minor?
The charge is procuring a minor. You tell me, who was that minor?
I don't know.
You were never told during your during the state attorney's prosecution of you who this person was?
No.
Why did you plead guilty to a felony charge that resulted in you going to jail, without even knowing who the victim was?
Form that question calls for attorney-client information, and therefore I'm going to instruct him.
If it has something to do with any conversations with your attorney, I don't want to know. I'm just going off of the plea colloquy between you and the judge, where you understand. Do you have any remorse for your actions?
He doesn't have any remorse. There's no need to ask him that question twice. If he didn't say yes the first time, he doesn't have any. He doesn't have any. All he wants to do is sit there and pretend that he didn't do anything to underage girls. Okay? Talking about what he pled guilty to. He didn't ask you what you pled guilty to. He asked you if you had any remorse for doing things to underage girls. Clearly he had none, because he still wanted to sit there and lie. Okay? Now let's go to Ghislaine's lying self.
Mr. Epstein ever ask you?
Hidden in the millions of Epstein files are videos Ghislaine Maxwell fought to keep secret.
There is nothing inappropriate or incorrect about that. And your mischaracterization of it, I think, is unfortunate.
They appear to come from deposition hearings in 2016. Her answers, evasive at best.
Did Jeffrey Epstein have a scheme to recruit underage girls to use them for purposes of sexual massages?
Objective Foreman's Foundation.
Okay, I'll begin, please. Sure. Did Jeffrey Epstein have a scheme to recruit underage girls to use them for sexual massages?
Objective Foreman's Foundation.
Can you ask it a different way? Did Jeffrey Epstein have a scheme to recruit underage girls for sexual massages?
Objective Foreman's Foundation.
If you know.
So, I don't know what you're talking about.
The hearings were part of a defamation case brought by Virginia Giuffre, one of the most well-known accusers. She claims she was trafficked by Maxwell and Epstein and abused by Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. he denies the allegations. Maxwell's lawyers had fought for the videos to remain hidden. While the transcripts were unsealed in 2020, the clips have never been seen by the public before.
So never in your time at any of Jeffrey Epstein's homes were you present when a female under the age of 18 was there to give Jeffrey Epstein a massage?
Checked with Foreman's Foundation.
So as I said, when I was present, no, it's a yes or no answer.
No, it's not a yes or no answer.
You can answer the question in full, but please provide a yes or no as an initial matter.
I cannot answer a yes or no question to that question because it's not bounded by any time and it's not bounded by anything.
Amongst the mountain of millions of documents and images in the Epstein files, this was found last week. It is Maxwell in a prison cell. Despite her answers in 2016, just 4 years later, she was arrested and then sentenced to 2 decades behind bars. Sam Holder, ITV News.
Did Mr. Epstein?
Too bad she didn't take herself out. Yikes. Okay, and I'm even more mad now that I know that Jeffrey Epstein's probably not even dead. This is like the nerve of these people. Somebody has to go down for this. Somebody has to go down. Okay, at the end of the day, this is all crazy. Okay, I'm checking my watch history for that video. But hold on, while I'm looking for it, let's talk about Michael Jordan and what people are saying about him out here in these streets. Okay, and then what he had to say about what the people are saying about him out here in these streets. Okay, so I'm going to go to like 3 videos from TikTokers so y'all can see what the folks are out here saying. This lady right here, I'm going to tell y'all straight up, she got on my damn nerves. I left her a nasty comment. I said, excuse me, ma'am, but are you as concerned about this as you are? Are you as concerned about the Epstein files as you are this? I said, because last I checked, it wasn't no people who looked like Michael Jordan accused of anything nefarious in those files. Okay? It wasn't. It wasn't. Except for Clarence Thomas. And that's what I told her. I said, other than Clarence Thomas, who's a sellout and a raccoon. Okay? Now, here's what I will say. I'm not caping for any of these celebrities because at this point, honey, nobody's to be trusted, in my opinion. But here's the thing. Now, do you all know the story behind the ice or the water being poured on the little boy or whatever? You know, because my thing is, if the father is good friends with Michael Jordan and they've known him for years, the parents are saying anything like they aren't the ones complaining. It's people online. So my thing is, if Michael Jordan came out and said something, supposedly, I'm going to play what the person claims Michael Jordan said. But if the parents felt like, you know, they see people giving him the smoke or whatever, I'm wondering, are they going to come out and say something? Because I'm saying like this, if that was my friend, y'all need to come out here and clear the air. Okay? Y'all need to come out here and clear the air. That's all I'm saying. Please pay attention. I'm sorry, but to me, Michael Jordan's a whole sellout. To me, he's a sellout. I haven't fooled with Michael Jordan ever since Chamillionaire said that Michael Jordan cursed him out when he asked for a jersey and then tried to charge him all this extra money for it or whatever. Or even, no, he paid for the jersey. Like $7,000 to $14,000. Do you remember that? And then he went over and asked Michael Jordan to take a picture with him. He said Michael Jordan wanted to charge him to take the picture. And he's like, man, I just paid thousands for this jersey. And he said something slick to him. And it was like, I didn't like that. Because I said, would you have done it to a white person? And Michael Jordan just seems to me like a sellout. So I don't really fool him like that. But at the end of the day, the truth is the truth. I really don't know if he was doing something nefarious. But I do know that they were giving him a whole lot more smoke than they're giving these people in these Epstein files.
Because people kept saying it, I watched the video again. And I watched it again. And you can see this child moves his hand to the backside. Some of us know what it's like to have your uncle, your father, your mother, someone in your family, someone in your community touch you when you're a child and they're an adult. And it's just, you know, tapping you on your backside or touching your shoulder or something that most adults, it seems, would say it's totally fine and normal. Okay, well, as a child, if you feel uncomfortable, but you know that that person is your dad's boss, you're not allowed to say anything. You're not allowed to have a response to it because that would be rude. You would get in trouble. It would not be okay. You're supposed to respect adults and respect your elders.
First of all, I need you all to pay attention to what she's doing here. She's painting the whole damn narrative. She doesn't know the child. She doesn't know the child's parents. She doesn't know the dynamic of the relationship between Michael Jordan and the parents, nor the child. So that all being said, why is she sitting here saying, as a child, you can't say anything because that's your dad's friend? How the hell does she know that? How the hell does she know that? Because my father was friends with people, but that doesn't mean that if they did something, we're not going to go tell him. Like, get the hell out of here. She's painting a narrative. She's painting a narrative. She's trying to convince people before she even finishes the story of her narrative. Okay, that's what she's doing. Okay, that's what she's doing. Now, my question is, ma'am, like I asked her in her comment section, ma'am, do you have the same amount of smoke, energy, okay, or angst for the Epstein files and the people that are in them? Because last I checked, the only person, there was nobody in there that looked like Michael Jordan. I said, except for the sellout Clarence Thomas. Other than that, I didn't see anyone else. So I don't think Michael Jordan's your problem. That's what I said.
So all of us know what that feels like for the regular guy in the community. Now imagine it's Michael Jordan. Even today, that child knows Michael Jordan means something. That Michael Jordan, yeah, is your dad's boss, but he's also something else. So could he even react? Could he even have anything more than putting his hand back there and shaking off when it stopped? That's enough. So the fact that adults are saying this child didn't react enough, he didn't do anything, he didn't seem like it. No, he was uncomfortable. You can tell he's uncomfortable.
I'm tired of her. She doesn't know if that child was uncomfortable. You can tell he's uncomfortable. Girl, I didn't tell he was uncomfortable. He looked unbothered to me. He looked unbothered to me. Okay, I'm sorry. And if he was uncomfortable, don't you think his parents would have noticed that and had questions? Please miss me with it, lady. Get the F out of here, honey. I'm so tired of people trying to paint narratives. I mean, listen, I must be honest with you. When I first saw the video, because I saw the video days ago when it first came out, I didn't even mention it to y'all because I didn't think anything of it, quite honestly. When I looked at the video, I thought, Michael Jordan, what the hell are you doing? Now, you know the Epstein files are out and that don't look good, right? And then so I pay attention because I like to get context and not just look at little clips. So I looked at the entirety of the video and I saw them pouring water and I said, okay, he's getting the water off the kid, obviously. That's just what I assumed. Other people assume something else, clearly. But let's continue. Because my thing is, the parents didn't say anything, and they still haven't said anything. The little boy didn't say anything. I mean, nobody seemed upset except for the general public. That's all I'm saying. And even here's the thing, this is how you know that lady's stupid. Because if the little boy was uncomfortable and he just couldn't say anything or felt he couldn't say anything, okay, after all of this to-do that's been made over it and everybody talking and Michael Jordan had to come out and speak on it, don't you think the parents would have asked him, son, did you feel upset? Did you feel like, he did something? They would have asked him questions, I'm sure. Come on, let's continue.
Is wild. Is it inappropriate? It looks inappropriate, but when I looked at it, when you guys look at it, do y'all see something else other than him pulling and tugging on the shirt? The placement, how low it is, looks like he could be doing something really, really inappropriate. Let's watch. Okay, so he's tugging right there on the shirt, on his shirt / a little bit of his pants. Yeah, it's giving like, what are we doing?
I'm gonna say it like this. When he was tugging, right, I was like, wait a minute, hold up. Michael Jordan, what are you doing? Okay. But then when I saw him rubbing the kid's legs, I felt like, okay, he must be trying to get something off of him, right? That's immediately what I thought. And then, like I said, I watched the full video and I said, okay, they poured water on the kid. So obviously he was trying to get the water off of him. Just my opinion.
But it looks bad. It does look pretty bad. And he probably thought after he started yanking on that shirt that was like a bad idea. And that's why he went to the leg. but it doesn't look good. But I don't think he was trying to do something inappropriate, like the basketball pat in the back on the bum bum on a little kid that he knows the father for. Does that make sense? Like, you know, when they're playing basketball and then they run back and forth and they just like pat each other on the ass. I think he was kind of trying to do that, but like pull on the shirt, like, you know, it just looked bad. The placement was bad, but he wasn't groping the boy, if that's what the message y'all putting out there.
I don't think he was groping the child. That's just my opinion. Let me be quiet, honey, for y'all say, for y'all start going in on me. I'm just giving my opinion at the end of the day.
I don't know how I feel to win a NASCAR race, but I know damn well you don't get no little boys for first place. Michael Jordan, I don't know how I feel to win a NASCAR race, but I know you don't get no little boy for winning first place. Listen, Michael Jordan, I don't know what you was thinking, okay? Listen, maybe it's from hell no. Don't touch my damn baby. I ain't even about to play like that. Michael Jordan must have been listening to R. Kelly in the goddamn pit.
This damn idiot here is gonna give me a YouTube strike. I'm gonna have to edit this video now, thanks to him. I didn't even know he was gonna do all of that. Let me continue. Like, so everyone, please like and share. I'm gonna have to edit my video. What minute am I at? Let me write down the timestamp. Damn it. Y'all know I hate editing my videos because then it takes away the chat. Okay, but let's continue. Here we go. Like, so everyone, please like and share.
Won the Daytona 500. The kid in the video is the driver's son, Tyler Riddick's son. Michael Jordan co-owns 23XI Racing, and he's close with the family. This wasn't some random interaction. Victory lane after a NASCAR win is chaos. Gatorade everywhere, ice everywhere. Everyone is soaked. Apparently, the kid had ice down his clothes from the Gatorade bath, and Jordan was helping get it out. That's what people who've seen the longer context are pointing to. So yeah, if you isolate a few seconds of it, it looks awkward, but context matters. And I'm just going to say this plainly. Someone with no history of being a child predator is probably not going to go on live TV with thousands of cameras pointed at him in the middle of victory lane. That doesn't mean you ignore what you see. It means you use basic logic before turning a 6-second clip into something that's criminal. If new information comes out, we deal with it. But right now, it looks like a chaotic celebration moment being blown up without the full context. They just won the Daytona 500. The kid in the video.
Hold on. Do y'all see this? Songwriter Sonny said in 6th grade, this girl scratched me while attempting to jab me in my butt. The female nurse had the gym teacher rubbing my tiny cheeks with ointment. Oh, you rubbing your tiny cheeks with ointment, beloved? I'm done. Okay, now so that man, just what he said, that's just how I was viewing it. Okay, because right there in public, in front of all those people, think about it. If he's friends with the family, was going to do something nefarious, wouldn't he do it when he was alone with the child? I mean, I'm sure he's had plenty of opportunities when he's alone with the kid. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Okay, so now let's go to what Stephen Smith had to say. Not that anybody cares, but... Okay, hold on.
Without full context.
Being sprayed, but let me. This video of Michael Jordan went viral after he won his first Daytona 500 race as an owner. There was confetti going everywhere, bottles being sprayed, but let me know what you think in the comments. Here's what Stephen A had to say about it.
Because I'm not here to comment on viral clips per se without full context. You got to contextualize these things properly. So let me try to do that for you. It's a kid that Michael Jordan loves like it's his own kid. It's a kid that he's known for years. That's the son of a driver that just won the Daytona 500 for him. It's also a kid that Michael Jordan knows very, very well, that if you see footage, if you see pictures, he's holding the kid in his arms, he's walking around playing with them and what have you. It's not the first time he's been seen with the kid, not the second time either. He's very, very familiar with the kid. He knows him. He's got a lot of love for him and his family. And I believe there were adults standing right there. So I'm not here to sit up there and absolve anybody from anything. I'm saying, why would we jump to that conclusion? Why would we do that, particularly when it comes to somebody the likes of Michael Jordan? It's a legitimate question. Perhaps other people would be willing to answer it if they so choose. I'm not going to get into it too much because I think it's a ridiculous subject to tackle. That's just my personal opinion based on the video that I saw. Having said that, we also have to take into consideration camera angles and stuff like that, how things can be distorted. We've got to take that into consideration. We've got to take into consideration the fact that it was just an 8-second clip. And the reality is that emotional misconceptions usually come into play. In a lot of these instances, one could easily argue. Certainly, Michael Jordan would argue that if he was prone to argue over such things. He's the kind of person that's not going to dignify certain things with a response to utter ridiculousness of it as something that he would just simply and summarily dismiss. And that's something that we have to take into consideration. But when we have to look at ourselves, I think it's important to say this. It's incredibly important to say this. There's nothing wrong with holding people accountable. We live in a day and age where it's very, very important to hold people accountable. It's pivotal, actually. But in the process of holding people accountable, it should be based on facts, not feelings. It should be based on what we know, not what we think. And unfortunately, the days and times that we're living in, that's not necessarily the case. One could easily say we should stop acting like a viral moment is a verdict when we should know better. But we know that we're not living in that kind.
Well, that's how it usually is when the person is a black man, if you ask me. Okay. Now, with that all being said, let's go to, and I forgot to put my darn overlay on Stephen A. Smith. Okay. But now let's go to where this guy said Michael Jackson did speak out about it. And here's what he claims he said.
Finally addressed the video of him behaving weirdly with a young fan. The video has gotten a lot of attention online because some people think the way he interacted with the fan looked weird. This clip has moved across the internet very quickly, with many people sharing their thoughts on his behavior. While some fans think it was just a normal moment during a big win, others are being very critical. They're saying the interaction made them feel uncomfortable, and it has led to a lot of negative talk online. Michael has now heard about the comments, and he is not happy about the rumors. A source spoke about how he is feeling regarding the situation. The source said Michael feels like everyone is trying to tear him down and make up malicious rumors about him. He's slightly angry that people are making up stories about him, but he knows he's a good person, so he's going to carry on as normal. Despite the backlash, Michael is choosing to stay positive and focus on his success. He believes the stories being told are untrue, and he does not want to let the negativity change how he lives his life. But before you go, I want to know, how do you feel about the video of Michael at the race? Michael Jordan has finally addressed.
Okay, now, so we're almost done, beloved. So I'm going to give you all lifelines last. But before I do, I want you all to see this video of this girl that just gets on my nerves because she's always crying on videos. And to me, she's just a clout chaser, and I told her so. Okay, let's get into it. She's just, these people that get on the internet crying and just doing the most for clout.
I tell you, this bracelet, this is a money bracelet, right? It's got green aventurine and tiger's eye. I ordered this bracelet and it came, and it took a while for it to come, but it came. And I've been wearing this bracelet the past couple weeks, y'all. When I tell y'all the way God has been blessing me, I'm in tears because I drove my son to school. And I know that's not huge for some people because, you know, they're so used to having a car and having support and having family, but I don't have that.
Okay, I've heard enough. She gets on my nerves. Okay, for real. She's sitting up here Acting like she's so thrilled because she bought a damn bracelet. I have the exact same bracelet. Girl, where's my coins? Where's my coins? And she's talking about she got that bracelet and it works. Oh, I got this bracelet and now I have a car. I was walking to school. Girl, walking my son to school. Girl, sit down somewhere. That was God that blessed you. What's no damn bracelet? How are people gonna sit up here and act like this bracelet is why you got a blessing, honey? Girl, God gave you the blessings. What is wrong with people? And did you have to get online and cry about it? And she was pushing those tears out to, girl, sit down somewhere. I told her, I said, girl, I said, ma'am, I'm tired of you. Okay, you're getting on my nerves. This is a clout chase. All right, because that's what it's coming across as. Clout chase, clearly. But so anyway, hopefully she'll stop doing those videos now that I told her that, because that's what it's giving. I wasn't the only one. Just so y'all know, I wasn't the only one. Okay? I wasn't the only one. Now, let me give you all your lifelines so I can get up out of here. Because I may come back later because I got on so early. Okay, here it is. This is going to do y'all some good. Oh, I forgot to tell you all about the Haitian women. Hold on. Oh my goodness, I forgot to tell you all the story about the Haitian women and the Klan. Hold on. We got to have our Black History moment, folks. Okay, we're going to have our Black History moment. I'm going to play for you something the Klan said that y'all need to pay attention to. But also, listen to this. And I looked it up. This story is absolutely true because I, you know, when I play TikTok videos, if they're talking about something I'm unfamiliar with, I look it up to verify the story, and this is verified. But this is what happened after these women were deported back to Haiti by ICE, or after ICE arrested them or whatever, detained them and had them deported.
Did y'all hear about them 4 Haitian women that got deported by ICE back to Haiti, and then they were later found on the border of the Dominican Republic and Haiti, decapitated? And if you don't know what decapitated mean, like they was missing their heads. What the fuck? Like, I knew the crime against women in Haiti is at an all-time high right now, but decapitated? Like, all 4 of them found with no head? And ICE did that. So, like, technically the blood is on their hands too, because what the fuck? Did y'all hear about them 4 Haitian women that got deported by ICE?
Okay, it says recent reports in February of 2026 highlight a dire situation regarding the deportation of Haitian women, with multiple sources confirming that 4 of the women deported from Puerto Rico by the U.S. government were found decapitated near the Dominican Republic Haiti border. These women were aged 27 to 31 years old. Okay, they had arrived in Puerto Rico by boat in December of 2024, resided in San Juan, and were returned to Haiti months before being killed. Okay, this is all said. May they rest in peace. Awful. And maybe that's why they left in the first place. Okay, so now let me just play this video for you all that my cousin sent me about the Klansman, honey. Now, he says this Klansman actually did a whole interview, but I'm just going to play the clip that I have. Like some, everyone, please like and share.
A big issue in the United States.
Well, racism's always going to be a big issue anywhere. You can't have 2 different races or 3 races. You can't have this many people living on one continent with this many different religions, this many different cultures, without one trying to step on the other. I mean, that's just common sense.
But you could argue that the Klan is contributing to the problem, no?
No, the Klan ain't contributing to the problem. You can just sit back and let the blacks do their own job. I mean, let them keep killing each other in record numbers. We ain't got to, the Klan ain't got to go out and kill blacks no more. We just drop off some liquor in their town and some guns, and they do it themselves.
And racism is a big issue.
Y'all heard that? Y'all heard that? Y'all might want to rethink it, okay? And y'all should know this because y'all saw this in that movie Tales from the Hood. When the black guy went to jail and the guy, the Klansman, was in jail and told him the same thing verbatim, just about. Okay, at the end of the day, yeah, y'all need to stop. Every time you take out somebody that looks like you, you're just killing soldiers in your own army, as far as I'm concerned. And to me, that never made any sense. Okay, it's never that serious, all right? Now, with that all being said, let's go to your lifelines. You're going to love it. I promise.
You right now how Satan disguises as an angel of light. Look at that normal oatmeal, right? Yummy strawberries and cream. Well, hold up. Watch, but you got to look closely. Look, if you move in closely, you'll see something insane. Look at this. You'll see this.
We used to keep these instant oatmeals on deck, and I personally like the strawberries and cream the most. And then I started paying attention to the ingredients. And if you notice right here, you'll see natural flavor. When I learned what this is made out of in this, it blew my mind. Just check this out. Hold on a second.
And castoreum, typically called natural flavor, is taken from a beaver's anal gland. It's far cheaper to use castoreum or beaver's butt to flavor strawberry oatmeal.
That's what Satan be doing, y'all. That's what Satan be doing, y'all. We're just so oblivious. Dude, what?
Out of a beaver's arse? Yikes. But let me tell y'all something. I'm not surprised because they do the same thing to vanilla ice cream. They do the same thing to vanilla ice cream. Like I literally saw a video about it years ago. Vanilla ice cream? Why would you need to put something from a beaver's arse in that? And how would you know that it would even work? How would you know that you even need it? Okay, y'all be careful out there is all I'm saying. Hold on, because I forgot to talk about the former Norway leader charged with corruption after probe into alleged Epstein ties, according to the lawyer. Norway's former prime minister, Thorbjørn Jagland, has been charged with aggravated corruption after a police probe into his alleged ties to the late ex-offender Jeffrey Epstein. Eldon law firm confirmed to CNN that Jagland is charged with aggravated corruption, adding that he denies all the charges. I bet he does. Okay, so Oprah, Norway's investigative agency for economic and environmental crime, said that it will now question these pop-ups. Said that it will now question Jagland as part of its ongoing investigation. Now, the agency's director, Paul Lonseth, said searches were carried out at Jagland's residence in Oslo on Thursday, as well as 2 other properties. Økokrim cannot comment on any potential seizures. The investigation will now take its course, he said in a statement. Now, it comes as Norway's royal family battles scandals on multiple fronts, with charities this week moving to cut or review ties to the crown princess due to her past contact with Epstein, who died in 2019. So the crown prince, they don't even want her to be the queen now, okay? So last week, Oprah said Jagland was under investigation on suspicion of aggravated corruption based on information in the latest batch of Epstein documents released by the U.S. Department of Justice, or U.S. Justice Department. So what do y'all think? I just find it all egregious. So these other countries are doing something, but the U.S. doesn't want to do anything? Jerron said that Klan sounds like a fool. Alcohol isn't the cause, and the Klan is still killing blacks. Well, here's the thing. Yeah, I think they are. The ones we see swinging from trees. But here's the thing, though. You said alcohol isn't the cause. Yes, it is. Yeah, of course it is. You don't see black people getting into fights over crap games and killing each other. Usually alcohol has something to do with it. Getting into fights and pulling out guns or stabbing somebody. Yeah, alcohol has a lot to do with it, okay? And also illegal substances. Now, with that all being said, absolutely. And here's the thing. We can count how many black people are lynched in this country per year as of how many of them are killed by gun violence. Black people are absolutely killing each other. The Klan might be killing black people, but black people are helping them, like he said. That's the fact of the matter. Now, whether we like it or not, the facts are the facts. Okay? Black people are killing themselves. They're killing each other. Yes. That's why they came up with black on black crime. Now, we know other groups kill themselves too, kill people who look like them, but you need to be worried about black folk. Okay? Because my thing is black people, and here's what's interesting to me. That's so crazy about black people. Black people, that's right, Shoshana and Nessa G, everybody said it's spirits. That's right, because I taught y'all well. Absolutely. Alcohol is spirits. It brings on malevolent spirits. They have a demon. In the Arabic language, they call it alcohol. That's where they got alcohol from. That's why they call some liquor stores spirits. And that's why some people call liquor spirits, because it brings on spirits. So it absolutely can make people act a fool, okay? And at the end of the day, black people, what's so interesting about us is that black people are the most welcoming and the most hospitable and the most, forgiving and accepting people in the world. That's my opinion. We welcome other people. We're kind and considerate. We don't look at them like they're crazy when they show up and they're the only one like people do us. But the bottom line is Black people don't have that same energy for each other. Black people mean mug each other. Black people be hating on each other like crabs in a damn barrel. Black people be quick to get into a fight with another Black person because they stepped on your Jordans. Or because they looked at you the wrong way. Y'all know it's true. So please, it is what it is. At the end of the day, y'all need to stop, okay? Because when the Klansman comes out and says all they got to do is put guns and liquor in your neighborhoods, first of all, he's telling you what they literally did. Okay, that is what they did. They put crack in your neighborhoods. That's how people became crackheads. They put guns in your neighborhoods. Ask the people of Chicago. Who do y'all think was doing those drive-bys every weekend? And they said it was gang-related. Those were likely people who don't look like us coming through there in derrick suits, because that's what some of the people in Chicago said. They also said that there was crates of guns in the alleys. They would find them early in the morning, like 6 o'clock, before the sun even comes up. Crates of exotic guns, not the regular guns you go buy at the store, fancy ones. Where'd those come from? There was even a story a few years ago about them finding a rocket launcher that allegedly fell off the back of one of the police SUVs. But whoever found it turned it in, luckily. I'm sure it wasn't supposed to be turned in. So, you know, this is what Black people do. Sadly, these YNs. Yeah, these YNs. See, let me tell y'all something about these YNs out here. Okay, and if you're a YN, you get mad, but at the end of the day, any YNs in the chat, you might get mad, but it's the truth. These YNs out here today, they can't fight. They're weaklings. All they want to do is pull guns. They can't fight. They can't throw those hands because none of them do it. All they ever do is pull out guns. And anybody can pick up a gun and squeeze with 7 pounds to make a trigger go off. But real men know how to throw those hands. Okay? That's what they know how to do. They know how to throw hands. These YNs will be quick to pick up a gun. Okay? They're doing the Klan's work for them. And that's just a fact. Now, with that all being said, I'm out of here. I love you all to life. I hope you enjoy the rest of this beautiful day. I will probably come back around 7, hopefully. But with that all being said, until then, each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. And also, please double check to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel, especially if you're a new subscriber, because YouTube clearly unsubscribes people on a regular basis. Okay, they be hating on the poor little old queen. So please make sure you double check, and especially if you have not been receiving the notifications. All right, for the record, I go live every day, Monday through Friday. Don't forget. All right, so anyway, I will talk to you all again soon. Until next time, beloveds, peace. And also, did I tell you all, did I say my little slogan before I leave out of here? Because I feel like I really need to tell y'all at this time more so than any other to always make sure that you keep the Most High first in your lives. Okay, make sure you're having conversations with God. Make sure you're praying and being in, communication with God, because we're in spiritual warfare. The veil is thinning, true, and we're going to start seeing a lot of things that we have not, or that we haven't seen, and things that we don't know that we need to know, because the matrix, we're awakening from it. But at the end of the day, this is also spiritual warfare. Okay? And we need to be prayed up. So make sure you're doing your due diligence and always keep the Most High first in your lives. And until next time, I will talk to you all again soon. Peace.
With that flavor all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunsa. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. That's See right. A bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass cats can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got